Alan Pizzo's Predator has maintained the points lead all season long. And today, in the motorsports mecca known as Indy, teammate Mark Hall's Raminator and Jeremy Dishman's Ramunition will be gunning for one thing: the chance to catch Predator and claim the crown for the 5th year in a row. And it all comes down to this: the last event of the year for the Dodge Monster Truck Thunder Drag. On a picture-perfect day in Indiana, the setting, the State Fairgrounds for the 25th Annual O'Reilly Auto Parts 4-Wheel and Off-Road Jamboree. And coming up on the program today, it's all about monster trucks. Now, when you say monster trucks, one of the first words that comes to your mind is Bigfoot. Bob Chandler with Bigfoot. Buddy, I see a progression here from one of the earliest to today's truck. And what's the deal with the one with 10-foot tires?
Well, like I said, we started out with Bigfoot 1. We started with all of his shows here, all the Jamborees, and we end up with this big one, number 5. It debuted at this event 20 years ago. So.
Well, you've got quite a following out there. Does that put any more pressure on you each event you go to?
Well, yeah, you try to keep, you don't want to be better than everybody else. You want to keep your trucks as good as you can. And we probably spend more time just on preventive maintenance so our trucks don't break down. Hopefully we don't break down at shows. But we have probably 6 to 7 trucks on the road every weekend, And to me, this Jamboree it's my favorite event.
You guys really get into this. I would love to try to drive this thing. It would be disastrous, but it's got to be tough.
Well, it's easy to drive. It's just hard to see around you, It's hard to get into it. You got to climb up the tire on the axle, get in the tire, climb in the bed, crawl around the window to get inside of it. But to drive it, you got to have people spotting around the side of you. That's the hardest thing. It's just because it's automatic transmission. It's just like a regular pickup truck.
Thank you, Bob. What he really said was, it's harder than it looks. Well, let's check in with Doc Riley and find out more on exactly what is a monster truck.
Thanks, Claude. A lot has changed in 25 years, but one thing remains constant, that being the 66-inch tires. They're either Goodyears or they're Firestones. The rest of the truck, well, from the tires up, it's changed a bunch. Gone are the leaf springs. Right now you've got the shocks with the bypass. You've got the independent chassis that's inside there. Hydraulic steering has been added. Of course, 4-wheel drive with both drive lines, front and rear. The brakes, you've got a driveline brake that's underneath here. That's been added in the past couple of years to get these big monsters to stop. Some guys will use a driveline brake and one on the tires as well. The engine, it's in the back, 575 cubic inches. That's the limit. They run them on alcohol. They're supercharged. One of the biggest changes is where the driver sits. Now, in the good old days, Bigfoot 1, the driver sat in a stock location, arm hanging out of the side. Now, they've moved them to the center section right there where the driver's got better visibility and, more importantly, the weight. Monster trucks weigh 9,200 pounds, and they've got an awful lot of horsepower. It's monster truck race, and it's big here at the Indy Jamboree.
Big it is indeed. Thanks, Doc. As we go to the ladder as the monster trucks roll by, joining me in the booth today, our expert analyst, Rick Carlson. Rick, what a day it's going to be.
That's it. The Predator up in the top half of the ladder and Ramunition, Raminator in the back half. Predator just needs some wins to hang on to the points lead that he has now. The two Dodge machines on opposite sides of the bracket, if Predator's gone, they could meet in the final.
If being the operative word today, no way to know exactly what's going to happen. Here comes the big dog.
That's Doug Nolte, and he is facing the Predator of Alan Pizzo. You may remember the Predator with a Panther body. Now he has the Dodge body on there. He's always used a Hemi, but now it's all Dodge. Alan Pizzo, very simply, needs to win.
Needs to win indeed, and a little extra pressure on him, Rick, as he is the points leader. But it's always an uphill challenge when you come up against Doug Nolte.
So Nolte and Pizzo both up spinning the tires a little bit. And now we get down there, and that one is close in the win in the upset. Big dog.
Not surprising, Rick, that he is spinning the tires. A lot of water. You see it in the background on the grounds today. A lot of mud. Let's go to the replay, and let's go on board.
Doug Nolte, you're going to watch what goes on in the driver's compartment. Up in the air, bouncing around. He's being thrown around. Steering, well, it's got power steering, but it doesn't look like your family sedan.
Hey, you're kind of the giant killer right here, messing up the points race and everything.
Hey, we get to come to a few of these things. We get to get mixed into that pot, so it was awesome. I mean, me and Alan, we run a good race there. It was close. I didn't know who won.
It was close. What about this track here at Indy?
I mean, we had rain the last couple days here, so I mean it's a little wet, but it's coming around. I mean, I hooked up real well, nice straight run, so I was very pleased.
Should be. What a photo finish. That calls for one more look.
Noki went in the left lane. Pizzo, points leader, out of competition to the right side. My goodness, it's over early for Allen.
One of these tough situations here, you've been battling the points all season long. You come up, you're one of the independent guys against the big factory truck guys. What happened on that run?
Well, unfortunately, fortunately, I'm trying a new tire combination this weekend. The tires hooked up really hard, and making a lot of horsepower, and got out there and actually broke the rear drive shaft right in half.
Right in half, tough break, but a good season for you.
Definitely. We're looking good for next season. We're doing some testing right now for next season, so it's anybody's game right now. Unfortunately, we ended up probably third in the championship this year, which is not all that bad, and we're looking good for next year.
And a good look right there at Jeremy Dishman getting inside Rammunition, getting all set to go. And we will remind you that this program is brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment, the World Speed Shop, and by Tornado. Don't drive without it under the hood. We'll be back. Welcome back to the 25th Annual O'Reilly Auto Parts 4-Wheel and Off-Road Jamboree from Indy. Now let's check in with Doc Riley.
Thanks, Claude. In addition to the Dodge Monster Truck Thunder Drags, the Jamborees really are a state fair for gearheads. You've got just about everything. If you've got a need for speed, there's the NMRO Comp Cam Mud Drags presented by TCI Auto, which features everything from stock 4-cylinder rides all the way up to the unlimited class of the paddle tire guide, running alcohol both blown and injected. For those of you that like the little off-road course racing, well, there's the Mickey Thompson Tough Truck Challenge. Again, stock trucks all the way up to modified trucks. But for many people that come to the Jamborees, it's all about cruising and having fun with your trucks. Show and shine with thousands of different looking trucks, everything from mild to wild to big lifted rides. And of course, there's the burnout contest, because everyone likes to show off with their pride and joy their 4x4 truck. The 4-Wheel Jamboree is celebrating 25 years, and for 25 years, people have flocked to find out all they can about the world of trucks.
In the hunt for the championship, this is Jeremy Dishman getting ready to do business as he drives the Rammunition.
Rammunition, that's one of the Hall Brothers machines, and he is paired with Metallic Mayhem. Chris Bergeron, that S10, specially designed for the 25th anniversary 4-Wheel Jamboree Nationals. Gorgeous paint under the mud somewhere.
Both trucks now set. Almost an identical reaction time coming off the starting line, but that's where it ends, Rick.
Jeremy Dishman just took off, and I don't know. We ended up with some smoke coming out of Metallic Mayhem early, and Rammunition didn't even slow down. Take a look in your left side as we watch the replay. Look at all that smoke. He's having problems, and in the right side, Rammunition just taking it away for the win.
And when he had problems, he really got off course and had to correct, and it was never right after that. Well, here comes Mark Hall now in the Raminator.
Mark Hall still in the points chase, needs to go to the final, and he is paired with that big red Chevy, Andy Hoffman, the former tractor puller. Well, he is good in the mud, and he's going to have that opportunity. Still a muddy course from yesterday's rain.
And he will need, Rick, to call back upon any previous experiences from driving in the mud.
They are off. They're moving. It looked like Nightmare moved first, but that heavy power, Raminator Mark Hall gets the win. Tim Hall, well, he's happy with that.
Rick, that was really hard to determine who the winner was. Let's go back and look at it from the replay.
Now let's watch who moves first, and I think Andy Hoffman did, but that was about the only time that he had the lead. Mark Hall, Raminator, very close, and, well, he hangs on, gets the win.
Doc Riley is with Tim Hall.
Tim Hall, tight point battle right now, and your guys are marching out of the first round into the next round. Just your thoughts.
Oh, man, it sure is tight. You know, this special events Jamboree is just so tough, and we want to win this series, and we've won it the last 4 years in a row. We sure want to get a fifth one for Dodge, and these big old Hemi engines are, they got plenty of power, but this track, and I got to say, the track guys, the special events staff, and Greg Fuchs and his guys have just done outstanding with all the rain we've had, getting the track, getting us something to race on. They've done a heck of a job, and now it's our job to win this race. We're going to see what we can do. Raminator and Rammunition are tied, and they're both going to the next round, so we'll see.
And a heck of a race it's going to be. You're looking right now at the Bigfoot driven by Dan Runte. And Rick, this guy really has his work cut out for him.
He does. Bob Chandler earlier talked about all the history with Bigfoot. There's the opponent right now. Jim Kohler's 57 Chevy called the Avenger. Dan Runte has picked up win after win after win for the Chandler Bigfoot stable, but Jim Kohler, one of the wild men out here, and says, oh, I'll just do it all with my 57.
And the reaction time pretty close right there. It's a good start. Kohler comes through it, though.
I would have to say, as it's the racing portion of it, that would be an upset. Dan Runte able to retrack. Let's take a look at the MSC in-car and Bigfoot with Runte.
And you can see mud all over the front of the truck, and when he comes over that first jump, that is a bumpy ride.
Let's take a look at it from the far end. Dan Runte in the truck, Bigfoot left side, Jim Kohler's Avenger right side. And now, Runte bouncing a little bit, Kohler going right down the race course for the win.
Well, Jim Kohler, that's got to feel good. Anytime you can beat up on the originator of the monster truck, you got to feel good.
Oh, I feel great. You know, that's one of the coolest things ever. It was just an awesome pass, you know, and those guys they're one of the fastest guys out here, and to beat them at the last show of the year is just awesome.